What's going on, everybody? And as you know, on Wednesday there were some new cars added to the Crew 2. One of the cars of which I've been waiting for a really long time, which is the Corvette C7 ZR1. Convertible, not so much the convertible part, but more of the Z7 ZR1. This thing is just so freaking nice, guys. And crazily enough, it's actually a hypercar. So let's take a quick little look at it here, a little walk around. Figured I'd showcase this thing right before I show you the customization of it. Alright guys, getting right into the customization. So, what can we do to it? Obviously the official colors. Let's take a look at all those real fast. I just amazes things in the game. This thing is so... I was honestly waiting for the ZR1 to be added. You already know me because I like blue. I'm going to put the nice bright blue color on there. Obviously all the other colors are the ones you can't put, and then liveries, whatever someone has made, obviously, or the other ones that Ubisoft has done, or Ivory Tower, whatever. Personally, I'm gonna probably leave this said color on it. It's just, I'm just shocked this thing's in here. All right, visual part, what can we do to it? So there's actually a good amount of customization for this car, which is pretty cool considering the Renault I did the video on doesn't really have too much. So let's take a look at this thing. So you can change the hoods. Personally, I'm probably not going to put these on there. I don't know. I mean, they look okay, but I think I'm just going to leave the regular hood on there. Going over the front bumpers. Good amount of customization for this vehicle, honestly. I wasn't expecting it to have this much. Definitely a good amount. I'm probably not going to change anything on this either, to be honest with you, just because I like the look of the regular car so much. So I'm probably just going to leave it just stock there with the regular front end. Checking out the rims, you could pretty much change whatever rims are available on pretty much every other car. Personally, I'm not going to get rid of the Corvette rims. Over to caliber colors, I'm probably going to make these yellow just because I like how that looks. And then over to the side mirrors, you can make the mirror completely carbon there. If I want to zoom in on it a little bit, check that out. I'm probably going to leave it stock though, just because I'm not going to mess with that. Moving over to the skirts, you can check these out here. I can zoom in a little bit on this as well. Definitely pretty awesome, guys. I mean, this got good customization. I'm going to leave that regular. Gonna probably be pretty surprised. I'm not going to really change too much on this car, but checking out the rear wing, yeah, they don't look bad, but yeah, I'm not going to add those either. Going over to the rear bumper, which is kind of hard to see because I'm right against the, pretty sure my boat right there. And going against the back bumper, you can't really see the exhaust changes or anything like that, but they probably go carbon, most likely, so you can actually not even see them. But you know what? It's totally fine. I'm probably going to leave this stock too, to be honest. Just because I think the Corvette just looks so good by itself. And then finally we have the interior color, which currently I have the red outlined in there, which was stock. We come on over here and we can change that to the yellow line there just to make the interior match the outside. Put on the really nice interior there. And then finally do the middle instrument cluster. And it also changes the steering wheel, as you guys can see there if I zoom out, which looks really awesome, seeing the carbon fiber on it. You can also put the wood, which I wouldn't do in the Corvette. And then finally, the carbon fiber, which absolutely looks amazing. Then when it comes to vanity items, guys, it's really whatever you have. Figured I'd share this anyway, just in case some people are wondering, because some vehicles actually can't really have certain vanity items on them, so I figured I'd share this anyway. Do the smokes here. I'm probably going to put the Earthbreaker smoke, and then go over here and grab one of the... maybe put the masked Nitro on there. And then underglows, window tints, and then obviously horns. You can't put a light on top of it because, well, it doesn't have a roof. Anyway, guys, let's go drive this thing and see what it can do. And I'm also going to take it in the Hollywood Hypercar Race as well to test it out. Alright, guys, arriving outside with the new Corvette. So, how does it look? I don't really have any words, honestly. It's beautiful. I mean, just look at that. Obviously, I think what some people probably wanted the regular one, not a convertible, but I think it's really cool that they're introducing some convertibles into the game. Definitely pretty awesome there. So I do have that nice blue color on here. Let's listen to this thing for a second. I think sounds good. Jumping right into the interior right now, guys, you will see that the inside is obviously pretty awesome. I have the whole thing wrapped in that carbon. The interior looks pretty awesome. If anyone is wondering, this is the dual clutch version of this car, if you were wondering. This is not the stick shift. It doesn't really matter regardless. Really happy to see this thing in here. This thing is really nice. So let's see how this supercharger sounds. You see here that you can actually hear the supercharger as well, which is pretty awesome considering that it does have one. Some cars sometimes you can't really hear them, but this thing you actually can hear it really well. Let's go in third person to test it out. around this turn. To get higher up on the RPMs, you can hear the supercharger, which is awesome. If you guys are wondering, one of the ways I actually test my vehicles to make sure they can turn is this little area here in Miami also. Where I am right here. This little circle area right here, okay? Just like that. This whole area right here. This is actually the circle that I test cars on, so I did put a build on this car, which I will add at the end of the video, that seems to make this thing really good. Considering it's a hypercar, which is insane, and I'm really happy to see it in here, and of course a Mustang runs into me. Just testing this thing out a little bit, guys, around this little area here before taking the race. The turning on this thing seems very good. So right before I jump into the Hollywood race, I want to actually take this thing on a quick top speed test run. Let's see what this car can do. This car is in a very high, impressive top speed of 297 with Nitro Chemist, which is definitely pretty awesome, and this thing can definitely compete in the hyper class. Let's jump right into the race. Alright guys, jumping into the Hollywood race with the new ZR1. Well, obviously, like I said, this is probably my favorite car that's been added so far. I mean, I was actually waiting for this car to be added. Let's go test this thing out in this race. Now, I do have it on Ace, obviously. It doesn't really matter once you get farther in the race because you always normally pull away. I am running the Nitro Chemist set on this car to keep that in mind, and then I will be showing the build I have on my car at the end of the video as well. So, first glance of driving the car in a race, how's it doing? Well, it seems to be handling very, very well. The speed of this car seems really good for the most part. Obviously, it's hard to compete with like a Bugatti or something because it is, you know, Corvette. Bugatti can get that top end speed really, really well, but it seems like this car will be able to hold its own overall. Speed, like I said, is really good. This thing can get well over 200 without struggling, which is really good. Some of the hypercars I noticed might struggle around like 200 to 240. I know sometimes they don't accelerate very well, which can definitely be an issue if you're trying to race and get best time, especially in summits. That's why a lot of the hypercars, you will see what people normally use, which is, well, Bugattis and Koenigsegg, stuff like that, because those cars don't have any issues whatsoever, and some of the other cars have some flaws to them when it comes to racing that really messes them up. I do not think the Corvette will be having that issue, to be honest. It seems like this car does very well. It doesn't struggle too much. And looks alone, honestly, will pretty much make you want to drive it. Anybody who's been waiting for a ZR1, finally it's been added, guys, which is crazy. Let's go back into first person here to check it out. So first person, like I said, looks really good. I love how the carbon fiber looks on the interior there. It's just, wow. Like, this thing is, wow. The build I currently running on the car also seems to be doing very, very well with turning and handling. It doesn't seem like it oversteers or understeers too much, and it's not losing grip sometimes or gets all fishtaily when you go over a bump. We all know the cars do that. I even noticed the Bugattis do that quite often when you go over some bumps. So it's pretty awesome to not see this car doing that. Overall, guys, I'm very, very happy with this car so far. I'm actually really happy that it's in the hyper class. Probably be very hard for it to be in the street class, considering the top speed of this car is like 215, I believe, in real life, so it might be a little hard for it to be max leveled. It'll do well over like 260 probably in the street class, which could definitely be a problem, and the acceleration on it alone would probably mess some things up in that class. So it's definitely good it's in the hyper class. And you will know, lovely driving a convertible in this game. It is raining, and that does not matter at all. So overall, guys, this is obviously my favorite car out of the 3 that were added, and it's so awesome to see this thing in here, guys. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and definitely go check out the new ZR1. Here's the build I'm running on the Corvette C7 ZR1 convertible.